The phrase itself is younger than you'd think. It was coined in July 1845 by a New York newspaper editor named John L. O'Sullivan, arguing that the United States had the right to annex Texas. He wrote that it was the nation's manifest destiny to overspread the continent allotted by Providence. Providence, not conquest, not ambition. Providence, God's own plan made visible. But O'Sullivan didn't invent the idea, he just gave it a name. The theology beneath it was 200 years old, carried across the Atlantic by the first English Puritan. John Winthrop stood on the deck of a ship in 1630 and told his fellow colonists they would build a city upon a hill, a new Israel, a chosen people planted by God in a promised land. There was only one problem with that story. The land already had people on it, so the theology had to solve that problem too. European legal and religious tradition had an answer ready-made: the doctrine of discovery, a set of 15th century papal decrees that declared non-Christian lands open for Christian conquest. Under this doctrine, indigenous nations weren't sovereign owners of their homelands. They were, in the eyes of European and later American law, occupants without title, placeholders waiting to be replaced. By the time O'Sullivan put a name to it, the idea had fused three things into one unbreakable logic: Christian mission, racial hierarchy, and national expansion. Americans weren't just taking land, they were fulfilling Scripture. And if the people in the way of that Scripture suffered or starved or died, that wasn't a crime. In the language of the era, it was simply the working of providence. That word, providence, is going to matter for the rest of this film, because everything that follows, every act of removal, every massacre, every stolen child, was justified by someone, somewhere, as the will of God.